we had on this list, I had him one spot under Kevin Love. Some people may have him higher. His numbers were better last year, but his team has never won. He's never been on a winner. Julius Randle, win some fucking games, you'll be a higher ranked player. That's my opinion on you.
Yeah, I mean, myself, I feel bad for Julius Randle because he was a pretty high pick too, and I feel like everyone, for whatever reason, on Los Angeles, like no one liked him there, and he didn't do bad by any means. Like he's a
No, he had a great year.
yeah, like he's a really good player. He's a guy who already has had multiple years, or just about, of 20 and 10, basically. He's a guy too, a power forward who passes the ball pretty well. He was 10th in assists to power forward. Again, fifth in offensive rebound. A guy who's one of the best volume scorers at power forward, just in terms of putting the ball in the net. But he obviously doesn't have the ability to space the floor like a guy like Kevin Love, where he only shoots 27% from threes, and he takes 3.5 per game. He doesn't
Takes too many, first of
yeah,
all.
exactly. And he doesn't shoot at Kevin Love volume from anywhere on the floor in terms of efficiency, but it's a guy just based on who he plays for, how much he gets the ball, and the fact he does know how to work the post so well, puts up 20 and 10 almost at ease.
But it's a perfect example of someone putting up empty stats on a bad team. That's what I feel his whole career has been so far. I don't think he's been on a winning team once so far. I don't think he's ever made the playoffs at this point. I think he had a good year this year, and he had an even better year the year before. But we all know why he had a great year with New Orleans year before. We all know that Davis was in a shitter that year. We all know that Davis wasn't actually playing. Even when he was playing, he was playing on a 25, 20-minute restriction. He wasn't actually having any effort. His agent didn't want him to get hurt. So Randle went in there, got 22 points per game, 22 and 8, or 22 and 9, had a great year. Really showed his career that he can be that point getter. And New York Knicks brought him in to be that point getter when we all know they failed on so many other players. But that's my issue with him. He's brought into a team to be a star player, a team that was looking at 5 to 10 other players before even looking at him. He wasn't the player that was going to come in and win for them. He was a player that was going to come in, put a couple fans in the crowd, and make them not a complete laughingstock game out like the Philadelphia 76ers were back in 2013. But on the other hand, is he actually benefiting the team? No. Was he benefiting New Orleans? A person who's putting up 22 and 10 on that team, that team should have been a playoff team, let alone they had Anthony Davis there. He clearly didn't add any extra wins there. I don't know if that's because of his defensive effort, or because he's just a ball hog on offense and puts up those numbers, but he doesn't let his team have an opportunity. I'm not sure what it is, but to me, until he actually wins, he's not a top 10 player in this league.
To me, it's just a factor of being on a lot of bad teams where, yes, he was on the team with Anthony Davis, but like you said, that was a team playing limited minutes. That wasn't the team trying to win. That was a team trying to get a high draft pick too. And I mean, that's a team that looks very good now. They got Zion Williamson. They got the job done. Yes, he was the star team there, and same thing with the Knicks. But at the same time, this is a guy who's only 26. He's going into his prime. He's improved dramatically. Where he was that 13 guy. He had the little improvement to 16, and then he really jumped to that 20 point per game 2 years ago, like you said, where he was the
He's
player.
brilliant.
And exactly now he's had 2 years of being, for the most part, the primary guy.
The guy.
Who's to say this guy can't jump off and be a 24 and 10? Let's say he can't replicate similar stats to a guy like Chris Bosh, to a guy like Paul Millsap. Like, there's definitely Julius Randle, again, at the very minimum, has the ability, other than the 3 point shooting, to be like a guy like Paul Millsap. They have similar bodies. There's no reason, yes, I'm sure that for the most part, I would say that entire New York Knicks team lacked an effort on defense. If Julius Randle wants to play defense, I'm confident that he could play defense. I'm confident that he's strong enough to compete with most of the power forwards in the league. Yes, if I'm picking Anthony Davis to go against Julius Randle and I have a betting line of Anthony Davis scoring over under 24 and a half, I'm taking the over. But again, that's one power forward, Giannis, whatever. But for the most part, I would consider Randle a pretty good defender, to be honest. I don't think that's a huge knock on him. I just think he's been on a lot of bad teams, and he's on a bad team again. And like I said, I think we're just going to see. I think he's going to improve, and that's why I had him high. That's why I had him higher.
Yeah,
I
the
can
higher.
see him
Yeah.
22 and 10 at max. I don't think he'll ever go about 25. I think he's just going to have a good year again this year, where probably like 22 and 8.5. but it could even be a 24 and 10, and that's really just going to justify the top 10. It's hard to not have a guy in the top 10 when he puts up something like that.
Yeah, I know, I get that, and he definitely thinks in his mind that he's a top 10 player. He probably thinks in his mind that he's a top 20 player in the whole league.
Hey, we said
I
that.
don't put him on that echelon, but he's getting to that age where he's in his prime now. If he's gonna put up the years, he's got to put him up now. Because the
Definitely.
people that are just above him are younger than him, which is crazy to say because he's only 26.
Yeah.
But the guys that are above him are younger than him, and they're already putting up better stats. I think that once we got through this top 10, once we passed number 10, we went on to an even other echelon of players, and you're going to notice after it's going to be another level at the end as well. But these next players that we have, they're leaps and bounds ahead of someone like Julius Randle, even though they haven't. Right now we have a number 9